The second round of the 2018 Stanley Cup playoffs is just about ready to get underway. In today's video, I'm going to give you my Western Conference preview as well as my predictions for each of the Western Conference second round series. And that's coming up next. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. We review and discuss all 31 NHL teams. So if you're a huge hockey fan, consider subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. So the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs is just about ready to get going here. The Western Conference matchups are set, and it looks like play will begin on Thursday night with some other games following Friday and Saturday. We're just waiting for the Toronto Maple Leafs Boston Bruins series to finish up here so we can fully set up our second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. That preview video will most likely be released tomorrow as we have the Bruins and Leafs battling it out in Game 7 tonight. So stay tuned for the Eastern Conference video preview coming up tomorrow. Now let's take a look at each of the two series here in the Western Conference. I'll give you my analysis and thoughts as well as my predictions on who I think is going to win each one. Now let's start here with the Vegas Golden Knights and the San Jose Sharks. I think this is going to be a very interesting series. Each team swept their first round matchup, so they've only played 4 games and they've each had lots of rest. Both teams are reasonably healthy as well. The San Jose Sharks have announced that center Joe Thornton will not be available in Game 1. They haven't really elaborated too much on his health that I've seen. I'm not sure if he'll be available in the later games of the series or not. At this point, I think they'll probably hold him out, see how they do. There's no point in rushing him in there until he can be effective. So we'll see the status of Joe Thornton, but as of right now, he's not going to be in the lineup to at least start this series. Now, I thought we'd take a look at a few things here. I want to take a look at the regular season series between each of the teams. I also want to compare their stats and how they played in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs so far and see how these teams match up and give you my thoughts on who is likely going to win. So if you take a look at Vegas and San Jose, as we all know, as I mentioned, both teams completed a 4-game sweep in their first round matchup. Now the Vegas Golden Knights defeated the LA Kings. In their 4 games, they only outscored LA by a score of 7-3. So even though they didn't give up much, Marc-Andre Fleury was awesome in net for them, but they also didn't score a lot either. Obviously, they ran into a pretty good goaltender in Jonathan Quick, who kept it close. But at the end of the day, Vegas squeaked out a lot of really close, low-scoring victories here in this series. So obviously they're going to have to put the puck in the net a little bit more to be successful against San Jose. San Jose is a much quicker team than the LA Kings. So we'll see how these teams match up. It should be interesting. If you take a look at the San Jose Sharks, they obviously won their series as well. 4 straight against the Ducks. They outscored their opponents 16-4. If you take a look at special teams for each of these teams in the first round of the playoffs, the Vegas Golden Knights only had an 8.3 percentage on the power play, so their power play didn't click real well, whereas the San Jose Sharks are clicking at a 30% rate. So obviously the Sharks, so far, based on playoff performance, have a major advantage on power play. If you look at the PK, San Jose has 83.2%, whereas the Golden Knights are running at a 92.3%. So obviously Vegas has the edge in penalty killing, so obviously that theoretically should offset each other a bit and make it a little bit closer, but we'll see. But so far, the Vegas Golden Knights may have a very tough task on their hands to keep the San Jose power play at bay. Obviously, they're going to have to stay disciplined, especially with the Sharks being a fairly quick team. They don't want to be taking too many penalties, and chasing the play too much here because they could get themselves in trouble. Obviously, if you take a look at goaltending, Marc-Andre Fleury and Martin Jones both had a tremendous first round playoff matchup performance in each of their respective series. They both had tremendous stats. Jones only allowed an average of 1 goal per game, whereas Fleury was, I think, .65. Their save percentages were both over .970. Absolutely incredible performances. So obviously that's going to be a very interesting goaltender duel. Hard to say, who's going to come out on top of that one. But if you base it on their regular season performance, I think Fleury has the edge. Take a look at their regular season goaltending stats. Marc-Andre Fleury played 46 games. Obviously, he was out for a while due to injury. Had 29 wins, kind of an appropriate number for him, seeing his jersey number. He had 2.24 goals against average and a .927 save percentage. Martin Jones played in 60 games. had 30 victories, a 2.55 goals against, and a .915 save percentage. So you could argue that the San Jose Sharks, with their backup goalie, Aaron Dell, ended up picking up a lot of wins. I think he had 15 wins. So I think that he played a major role in getting the Sharks to where they were this regular season. Fleury only had one less win than Martin Jones did in the regular season, but he played in a lot less games, 14 to be exact. So obviously, I think Fleury, you could argue, definitely had the better regular season, and they're pretty comparable so far in the playoffs. Fleury has a slight edge there as well. So I think at this point, I'd have to give the edge to the Golden Knights in goal. Obviously, we'll see if Fleury can keep up this magical performance so far. But so far, I'd give the edge. But Jones, by no means, is no slouch. But Fleury obviously has some Stanley Cups to his name, has a lot of experience, and he is currently outperforming Jones statistically so far. So I give the edge in goal to the Golden Knights. Now, if you take a look at their season series, they played November the 24th. We had a 5-4 overtime victory by the Vegas Golden Knights in Las Vegas. They played February the 8th, a 5-3 victory by Vegas in San Jose. They played March the 22nd with a 2-1 overtime victory by the Sharks at home. And we had a March 31st game with a 3-2 Vegas victory at their home arena, T-Mobile Arena. So the Vegas Golden Knights won 3-1 in their season series. So obviously, I know that the playoffs are a whole different beast here, but so far, based on the regular season play, Vegas definitely has the edge there. But as you can tell, each game was close. You get 5-4, 5-3, 2-1, 3-2. So they're very closely matched. They are a pretty good opponent for each other. But at the end of the day here, I think Vegas does have a little bit more offense as well. If you take a look at their top scorers from the regular season and San Jose's top scorers, Vegas has a little bit more offensive output, I think, that they can produce here. They've got a lot of guys having career years, and they need to step up. So, in my opinion, I think Vegas is going to have a much tougher opponent in San Jose than they did in LA. San Jose is going to present a lot more, much of a challenge. They're a lot quicker. I think they're more offensive than LA as well. So I think it's going to be a little bit higher scoring series than Vegas had in the first round. I think that's a given. I can see the games being very tightly contested. There are probably some overtime games here. I don't think that either team is going to be fortunate enough to keep a sweep going. I don't think we're going to see any brooms at all in this second round matchup. Personally, based on everything here, if you look at the first round, I think right now you get Vegas is doing a better job of keeping the puck out of the net. They've got better PK. They had a better regular season record. And the Vegas Golden Knights, the other thing to keep in mind here as well is they have home ice advantage. And their home record was tremendous this year. Taking a look at their regular season records here, Vegas was 29-10-2 at home, and they were 22-14-5 on the road. So they have a pretty good road record too. Obviously, they finished first. They had a good record overall, but Vegas has a tremendous advantage, I think, with the home ice. San Jose had a really good home record as well, 25-13-3, and they were 20-14-7 on the road. Obviously, if you look at their 4 games that they played in the regular season, San Jose was able to split the 2 games they had in their rink, but Vegas pulled up both victories against the Sharks when they were at their rink. So we'll see how this goes, but personally right now, I'm giving Vegas a couple of advantages here. Vegas, I think, has the edge in goal. I think they have the edge as well because home ice advantage is going to play a role here. If it goes 7 games, they get that final say in their rink. And Vegas has been tremendous at home. They've not only against the whole league, but against the Sharks this year. So they've got that. It's the goaltending. I think at the end of the day, Vegas is going to have a little bit more offensive output as well. So I'm picking the Vegas Golden Knights to win this series. I think it's going to be a lot more tightly contested than either of these teams played in the first round. It is possible. I won't be shocked if it goes 7 games, but I don't think it will. I'm predicting the Vegas Golden Knights to beat the San Jose Sharks in 6 games. Now let's move over to the Winnipeg Jets and the Nashville Predators. This is also going to be a very, very tremendously tightly contested series, I think. It's these two teams are built very similarly. I think there's a lot of similarities. If you look at their regular season records, there was very little difference. They were only, I think, 3 points difference in the standings. Goals for, goals against are extremely comparable. Very little difference at all. Their regular season records are extremely close. So if you take a look at all the different aspects of the game here, let's take a look at their season series because now they're in the Central Division. They had 5 games against each other this year. November the 20th, we had a 5-3 victory by the Predators at home in Nashville. December the 19th, we had a 6-4 Jets victory in Nashville. February the 27th, we had a 6-5 Preds victory in Winnipeg. March 13th, we had a 3-1 Predators victory in Nashville. And on March the 25th, the last game that they played against each other, they had a 5-4 overtime victory by the Winnipeg Jets at home. So that means that the Nashville Predators took the season series 3-2, but all the games were pretty close. So again, this is, they're really matched up really well here. Now, if you take a look at the playoffs so far, obviously the Predators had a 6-game series against the Avalanche. The Jets had a 5-game series against the Wild. The Jets outscored their opponents by a score of 16-9. The Predators outscored their opponents 22-15. If you take a look at their power play percentages so far, the Jets are clicking at a much better rate, 23.1% so far in the playoffs, where the Preds are going at 15.8%. PK-wise, the Preds are much stronger at 90% versus 76.9% for the Jets. So again, the Jets so far have the better power play. The Predators have the better PK. So that could offset each other. Maybe the Predators' PK will help shut that Jet power play down and make things a lot more tightly contested. If you take a look at the way these teams are built, Connor Hellebuyck and Pekka Rinne are both Vezina Trophy nominees. They had very comparable seasons. That is very, very difficult, I think, to give an edge to one or the other. Based on the last couple of games of play, I mean, they both also got a shutout to close out their series as well. Hellebuyck had back-to-back shutouts to close out the series. So really, it's going to be a tremendous goaltender battle. These teams both have a lot of offense as well and good defense. I mean, Nashville arguably has one of the best D-cores, if not the best, in the league right now. I mean, their top four, PK Subban, Matthias Ekholm, Roman Josi, and Ryan Ellis, you could probably argue is the best top four D-core in the league. And, you throw all the forwards they have up front, Ryan Johansson, Philip Forsberg, Kyle Turris, they have a lot of top guys that can also put the puck in the net as well. So Nashville's a very lethal team, but so are the Jets. I mean, they're big, strong, and fast. You got Mark Scheifele, Blake Wheeler, Patrick Laine, Nikolai Ehlers, Paul Stastny. Kyle Connor had a tremendous rookie season, scoring 30 goals. They are built to win. So these two teams are going to really beat the crap out of each other, I think. It's going to be a big, strong, physical series. It's going to be very interesting. Now, if you take a look back here, if you missed my original video before the playoffs started with the bracket challenge, where I revealed my full NHL bracket, I had the Jets winning the Western Conference, and I had this matchup set for round 2. I'm picking this series to go 7 games, and I'm going to predict that the Winnipeg Jets come out on top. I'm just going to stick with my original bracket challenge prediction with that one. But to be honest, this series is so tightly contested. You look at every category, or you look at offense, you look at goaltending, special teams, it's pretty even right across the board. The only way I can really give an edge on either aspect really is I can give an edge on defense, I think, to Nashville. Otherwise, it's dead even. Both teams had tremendous first-round matchups where they scored lots of goals, they defend it well. So really, at the end of the day here, it is going to be a long, tough series. Like I said, I'm taking the Jets in 7. But I want to hear from you guys. Leave some comments down below. What are your predictions for these two series? So if my predictions hold true here, we're going to see the Winnipeg Jets battle the Vegas Golden Knights in the third and final round of the Western Conference Final here for a chance to go on to the Stanley Cup. So those are my predictions. What are yours? That's my predictions. I think it's going to be a very exciting round. Both series are going to be fun to watch, and we're going to have lots of great hockey and great entertainment upon us. If you missed our video as well, we recently passed 1,000 subscribers, and we have a 1,000 subscriber giveaway going on. During that video, we also launched another contest. We're having a new Top Shelf Hockey logo design contest. So if you want to get in on either of those giveaways and contests, go check out that video. It'll be linked down in the description as well as the end screen. So check it out and enter for your chance to win. If you haven't done so already, consider subscribing to our channel here. We cover all 31 teams. There's plenty of content here for all fan bases to enjoy. Also, check us out on Twitter. You're going to see our Twitter handle on the screen right here, and it's linked down below in the description as well. As always, thank you very much for watching, everybody. We'll catch you next time.
We'll be right back.